This is the kind of stuff that just grinds my gears. Can't get started.
I mean, can you see this? I mean, a dirt dauber really in the ground receptacle of this plug? Give me a break.
So where's my nail punch? Seriously. I didn't bother using a square for that one. Old Larry Hahn trick. Line up the front of your saw table with the edge of your board, good straight edge of your board. Begin the cut, follow through. I'm gonna say we're pretty good right there. I'll take that to the bank.
Just some stuff you learn to live with when you're throwing these things up is what level and plumb are relative to what you're doing. That's level. That is as level as science allows, and yet relative to the screws and the ribs of the sheet metal, it's not straight. But that is perfectly level. Whatever. So I mean, we're not actually wearing glasses, right? I mean, you can't. It's just, that's the first run of sweat, and it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. You can't, like y'all out here wearing glasses in this, what do you do? What are you doing? Do you throw them away? Where do you throw them away at? Do you recycle them? Because I know there's no tips to actually keep the sweat off. Could go grab my my buff, my bandana, put that on, that'll help. Kind of. There. So even in the simplest things that you work with, if it is a lean-to on the back of a shed just so you can put a four-wheeler under, or if it's an entire home, I think the standard is square, plumb, and true. If you get those three correct, you're gonna be okay. They're non-negotiable. You've got to be within those parameters. If you can make that work, you can make a lot of stuff work.
All right, so I'm at a stage now. I just want to show you a little bit of progress. I've got both posts up. I've got these rafters put up here and cut. I have went shirtless, and I'm not gonna lie, if I could do it, I would be in my underwear right now. But anyway, I wanted to take a second to show you about flashing. That is not flashing you because I'm not wearing a shirt, but I'm talking about flashing walls from water intrusion. This is a seamless metal sheet all the way down until we get right here. But can you see what we're saying here? This seam, that seam will be flashed. The metal goes underneath. There won't be any need for caulking. There's no caulking at that point. Sealant would be useless. We're talking about a surface that catches water and transports it somewhere else without the use of sealant. This is saturated and is doing little if any good at this point. All right, so we've got some shoes on these legs. You don't want to know what's under here. It's just all solid rock, so we can forget that, hence the blocks filled with concrete. So we're up, we've got the furring strips across. We're ready to put some metal on this. Y'all, it's hot. I mean, this ain't fair. This is unjust. But anyway, here we go. She's 8.5 feet wide, 10 feet deep. Everything's nice and flashed up there at the top, so we're not going to have any moisture intrusion. Pretty square for a lowly gutter guy. I guess my only complaint, I probably would have ordered some slightly smaller screws. I mean, they kind of poke right there underneath the furring strips. I'm not going to lose a minute of sleep over that, though. So I just want to include a bit of a lesson on this. I'm not a framer. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a metal roof guy. But I've seen enough lean-tos. I've seen enough metal roofs. I've seen enough cuts with a skill saw and a sawzall to know how to put up rafters, ledger boards, posts, concrete block, yada yada. The reason that I can do this is because of my dad. And well, in addition to him, also the job experience of putting up gutters on these things and fixing roofs on these things. I've never in my life built one of these, but I've built a few things. And if you can get the kids involved, if you can let them absorb the observation of your task, sometimes that's all it takes. You don't actually have to teach them anything. You don't have to show them anything. If they literally just see you do it, that's kind of all it takes a lot of times. But man, this world has got way too much going on to be one-dimensional. I challenge you to be more than one-dimensional. 2 or 3 or 4, your choice how deep you want to go into that, but I challenge you to be more than one-dimensional. I can competently put up a metal roof. I can competently build a small lean-to. I don't know if I'll ever charge anyone money to do this, because there are professionals out there right now. Some of you guys are probably watching this saying, man, there's such and such wrong with this. I wouldn't have done it this way, yada yada. That's cool. That's absolutely cool. This was just a homeowner project, right? That's all this boils down to. If I do say so myself, it's a notch above homeowner grade work. I took care to see that things were plumb, straight, square, true. Just because you're doing it as a homeowner doesn't mean that it needs to be slapped, thrown together. You know, that's just not necessary. Take time. Try to do everything that you're doing a little bit better than what you think the person behind you would do it. You know, have that little miniature competition in your head. He would have thrown this up in 2 hours, the whole thing would have been done, and nobody cares, right? And he would have missed this and this and this and this. Okay, don't miss those things. Try to pay attention to those things. Be more than one-dimensional, and you will reap a greater harvest than those that do otherwise. We'll see you guys in the next go-round.